Hi folks, welcome back, thank you for watching. Please do hit subscribe if you haven't done so yet. It really does help when you do that. So today folks, I've got a brand new overdrive pedal to show you, and you just heard it on all of the guitar parts and the bass actually in that intro track. Now, as regulars to this channel will know, I am a big fan of tube pedals, especially pedals where the tubes are running at proper high voltages, just like they do in guitar amplifiers. Because to me, there's something about the harmonic complexity of the tone, but especially the kind of saggy feel under the fingers that's just very difficult to recreate with solid state. And in the world of tube pedals, there's some very obvious big players, but in recent years there's been a new entry to the market that's kind of steadily climbed up the ladder, and that is of course Tubesteader over in Canada. Now, Olly at Tubesteader has set about recreating some classic vintage tube amps in pedal format. So the Beekeeper and the Lightkeeper is his take on the Dumble thing, the Sunkeeper is a kind of orange Rockerverb, the Eggnog is a small Fender Tweed amp, my personal favourite, which is here somewhere, is the Magnesium, a kind of Magnatone Marshally type thing. It sounds absolutely astonishing. But out of all of those amplifiers, there's a very obvious food group that's missing. But don't worry, Olly has now done that one too. So today I can unveil to you the brand new Tubesteader ROY. Now this pedal is going after the classic chimey British Invasion EL84 no negative feedback thing. Yes, it's a top Boost AC30 circuit. Now, this is very clever in its design because it has a single 12AX7 tube running at high voltage, just like I like, but it has a transistor on the front end that pushes the signal harder into the tube, and that really helps to recreate the kind of slightly spongy feel under the fingers that you get when you crank an AC30. So it's not just shooting after the tone of that amplifier, it's going after the feel too. And having put that intro track together, I can tell you it does an outstanding job of replicating the feel of a real tube amp. Now you get two sides to this pedal with a gain and volume control for each. So you can set one to edge of breakup and unity level, the other to heavier saturation and a bit of a level boost for solos, for example, and switch between them. So that's really nice. But you also get a two-band EQ, just like the original amplifiers. But this is a little bit deceiving because you only get a treble and bass control. But the best way of thinking about this particular EQ is it kind of pivots around a mid-range. So if you boost the treble and the bass, you kind of get a smiley face scooped sound, and if you cut the treble and the bass, the mid-range is all that's left, so you get a bit of a mid-pushed sound. So even though you only get a two-band EQ, you can really dial the mid-range in with perfection. But to me, the most important part of this pedal is exactly like the original amplifiers have, the tone cut control. Now on an AC30, the top cut is kind of a master low pass filter for the output stage of the amp. So it's after the preamp, after the EQ, and when you really crank the amp, it can sound a little bit fizzy and harsh. So you just turn the cut down to the point it gets rid of the top end that's causing problems. And in that intro track, I used that all over the place to really control the top end content of the guitar recordings. So over the years, so many classic players have found their sound with a Vox AC30, all the way from the Beatles through to U2 in the 90s, country players like Brad Paisley, which was a very obvious nod to in the intro track, all the way through to the thick, creamy, saturated sounds of Sir Brian May. And as you hopefully heard in the track, you can cop all of those sounds and more with the ROY. So what I'm going to do today, folks, is two bits of playing. Firstly, I'm going to use a Telecaster into a Marshall type amp, set it completely clean and flat, and get all of the gain and tone shaping from the ROY. And then I'm going to put this pedal slightly out of its comfort zone, again into an amp that's set clean and flat, but a Fender Blackface type amp, and see how it gets on with some humbuckers. So I cannot wait to show you this pedal today, folks. I had a huge amount of fun putting that track together, and it really does sound and feel absolutely wonderful. So without further ado, folks, here we go. So there we are, folks. Now please do comment underneath, let me know what you thought of the Tubesteader ROY today. Did you think it sounded like an AC30? Did you like it into the Marshall amp or the Fender type amp with humbuckers or single coils? I love chatting nerdy guitar stuff with you folks down in the comments section. Now to me, this pedal does a wonderful job of capturing the essence and the vibe of an AC30. When it's set clean, all the top end chime is there in abundance, but then when you crank the gain up, the saturation characteristics, but also that kind of lower mid-range growl is all over the place. So it does a wonderful job of capturing the sound of that amplifier. And the feel too. Having the transistor pushing the tube for a bit of extra sag really is a genius bit of design. But as always, folks, those are just my thoughts, so please do let me know yours underneath. I love hearing from you guys on all this sort of stuff. So thank you for watching, folks. I hope this video was interesting and useful for you. There'll be a link in the description box to where you can check out this brand new pedal on the market. And please do carry on subscribing. I know I always say it, but it makes a big difference when you hit subscribe. So thank you, folks, and I will see you very, very soon. Bye-bye.